Yan, salamat sa kapatid na TDB14 TV, no? Salamat dyan sa patamsak mo. Sabi niya, Yahoo, Yahoo. Yan, salamat sa iyo, kapatid. Yan. Sabi ni Dea Sulaiman, tamsak dan. Yan. Salamat sa iyo, kapatid na Dea Sulaiman, ang apo ni Raha Sulaiman. Yan. Dea Sulaiman, ang apo ni Raha Sulaiman. Yan, salamat sa inyo. Salamat sa mga patamsak na. Yan, mega shout out. Yan, sabi ni TDB14, salamat. Salamat kapatid. Yan. Yan, salamat dyan sa tatlong matang nakasubaybay. Yan, nandiyan kagad, meron kagad tayong tatlong mata. Yan, salamat sa inyo, salamat. Yan. Actually, meron pa tayong 5 minutes bago magsimula pero binuksan ko na. Yan, para makapagsimula na tayo, no? Habang yung mga kapatid natin may mga live streaming pa. Tayo po dito nakaabang na lang po sa mga papasok pa. Yan, mega shoutout. Sabi ni TDB14, Yahoo! Yan, kapatid, salamat sa iyo, kapatid, salamat. Yan, si Caddy Life Journey. Yan, salamat sa iyong pagbalik, kabayan. Yan, nasa Canada si Caddy Life Journey. Yan. So yan, kapatid, no? Sandali lang po at wala pa yung mga kapatid natin ditong iba, no? Kasalukuyang sumusuporta pa sila sa iba pa naming kapatid na naka-live streaming. Yan. Good evening po dyan, no? Sa Canada. Good morning dyan sa Canada, no? Good morning. Dito is afternoon, 5 o'clock pa lang dito sa Kuwait. Yan, nasa Kuwait kasi ko, 5 o'clock pa lang dito. Kapatid na Caddy Life Journey. Yan.
Wala po. Sino ba mag-picture?
Sige po, picture na.
Dito si Tito Jumero, Mr. Sourceweek. Mr. Sourceweek.
Already. Lapit ang mukha sa camera. Ay, wag masyadong lumapit na honorable kasi mawawala yung ganda ng sombrero. Ready?
Tapos na?
Ready? Ready? 1, 2. Isa pa. Okay, ready? 1, 2. Tingnan ko pa yung
Ang dami talaga.
pinakamagandang posing. Oh.
Ay, nawala si free music.
Bakit nawala? Oh, dito sa Maliwanag. Ay, lumabas nga free music.
Yes, good morning din to dyan, no? Yan, good morning dyan. Dito, good afternoon dito sa Kuwait. Yan. So, kamusta naman po kapatid na Kadi Life Journey? Kamusta po ang inyong pangingisda kahapon, no? Kamusta po ang inyong pangingisda? Ayan.
Hoy, DJ, pag-sure diha.
Buyang, baby!
Pag 5 na lang. Pag 5 na lang. Pili na. Tag 5, tag 5, tag 5, $5, tag 5 na tanan. Pili. Tag 5, tag 5, tanan, tag 5, imong naong 5. Wate, di pa ako wate.
Sabi ni kapatid na Kadi Life, Bokya po sir, malamig at mahangin po. Ayun. Pag mahangin, no, labog-bulabog yung mga isda sa ilalim kasi maalon. Yan. Shoutout sa lahat ng kapakpak na lalapag dito. Yan. Yan, tawag na to. Magdikitan kayong dalawa, Kadi Life Journey and ML lang mag-asawa vlog, no? Yan, magdikitan kayo. Yan. Dikitan nyo na rin po si TDB14, no? Magdikitan po kayo dyan. Yan. Mamaya ibibigyan ko kayo ng mga jacket para po makapaglapag kayo ng mga link nyo. Yan. Welcome sa katim ng kapakpak, no? ML lang mag-asawa vlog. Sino? Yan, tayo po muna makinig ng ating love song. Yan, makinig po muna tayo, no? Habang tayo umiinom ng mainit na kape diyan, no? Sa Canada. Habang nag-aalmusal tayo, no? Ano bang masarap na almusal diyan sa inyo? Sa Canada. Yan. So yan, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Diyan sa Toronto, Canada at diyan sa Alberta, Canada, no? Good morning diyan sa inyo. Sa Toronto, Canada is 10:11 ng umaga, no? 10:11 ng umaga. Sa Alberta, Canada, 8:11 ng umaga, no? Good morning diyan. At diyan sa Manila, 10:11 ng gabi. Yan. 10:11 ng gabi diyan sa Manila. Mary Grace Mansuheto, welcome po, welcome, welcome. Hello po, sabi ni Mary Grace Mansuheto. Yan. Kamusta po kayo kapatid? Salamat po sa muling pagbalik, no? Sa muling pagdaan dito sa aking munting kubo, no? Yan, kung gusto mo pang dikitan si Cadillac Journey at si ML ng mag-asawa vlog, no? Dikitan niyo po sila, magdikitan po kayo dyan sa baba. Yan, mamaya-maya ibibigyan ko po kayo ng jacket. Kamusta naman po kayo, Madam Mary Grace Mansuheto? Yan. Kamusta po ang buhay-buhay? Nasaan po ba kayo, Madam Mary Grace? Okay naman po, nasa Pinas po yon. Magandang gabi po dyan sa inyo, sa Pilipinas, Madam Mary Grace Mansuheto. Yan. Nasa Pilipinas daw po siya. Yan. Salamat sa 8 thumbs up na binigay niya, no? Para kay host. Yan. Kamusta naman po ang buhay dyan sa Pilipinas, Madam Mary Grace? No? Meron pa ba sa inyong lockdown? Naka-lockdown pa po ba kayo o balik na po sa normal ang buhay po dyan sa Pilipinas? Yan, sabi naman ni Cadillac Journey Host, exit po ako. Pag mag-online na client ko host, please. O sige lang po, kapatid na Cadillac Journey, no? Yan. Importante po yung mga sa trabaho po. Yan. Yung unahin po muna natin yan, yung mga sa trabaho, no? About sa trabaho. Yan. Pag po natin na pabayaan yung mga trabaho, pag ganyan na may mga online client, no? Unahan po natin yan kaysa mawala po yan. Yan, sabi naman ni Merry Christmas Suheto, ayos naman po, GCQ pa rin po, yon, GCQ pa rin daw sila. So, konting tiis na lang po at magbaback to normal na po ang lahat, no? Konting tiis na lang po. Yan. Mag-pray lang po tayo lagi sa Panginoon at tayo ay makaka-survive, no? Hindi tayo pababayaan ng Panginoon. So ayan, makinig lang muna tayo ulit ng ating love song. Habang naghihintay tayo sa ating mga kapatid na kasalukuyang nagla-live streaming pa, no? Ayan. Makinig muna tayo ng love song para medyo malibang-libang naman tayo.
You said goodbye. Just let me know you didn't go forever, my love. Please tell me why you make me cry. I beg you, please, I'm on my knees if that's what you want me to. Never knew that it would go so far. Why you left me all that?
Walang problema yung Cadillac Journey, kapatid, no? Ang mahalaga sa atin yung trabaho, no? Unahin po natin yung trabaho bago po ang lahat. Para hindi po mawala ang ating kinabubuhay. So, nauunawaan po natin yan, no? Kasi galing din po tayo dyan, no? Ako po may trabaho rin, no? At syempre, unahin ko rin po ang trabaho ko bago ang lahat. Kaya, naintindihan po natin ang bawat isa sa kanyang sitwasyon. At kung may time ka ulit mamaya, kapatid na Cadillac, no? Kung may time ka ulit mamaya, pwede ka pong bumalik ulit mamaya. At nandito pa rin naman kami. Ako, magtatagal pa naman tayo rito. Yan. So, hihintayin ka namin ulit kung anong oras pa matatapos ang iyong pag-usap sa iyong kliyente. Yan, si kapatid na Abidenso. Yan, nandito, thumbs up doon. Salamat, kapatid na Abidenso, sa iyong pa-thumbs up.
A little while just for a smile held us together for our show. A place I know in Tokyo where we could be happy forever. Never knew that it would go so far. Why you left me on that football? Come again, you would release my pain, and we could be lovers again. Never knew that it would go so far. Why you
Yan, si kapatid na TDB. Yahoo! Naka-video lang daw siya. Yan. Thumbs up na po. Sabi ni Abid din. So, unahan ko po ang maglapag. Host, okay lang po ba? Sige po, bibigyan kita ng jacket, kapatid na Cadillac, no? Para magbaba ka ng iyong link. At madikit ang kapulila. Yan, sige. Bibigyan kita ng jacket. Cadillac, no? Magbaba ka ng link mo. Vice President. Yan, sa DJ, sa ito host. Sabi nga, sige. Salamat dyan, Vice President Segats Vlog. Yan. Yan, si Abidenso. Sige, kapatid na Abidenso, baka hindi mo pakadikit si Cadillac, no? Magbaba ka rin kapatid na evidence ng iyong link, no? Yan. Saka si Mary Grace Mansuheto, magbaba ka rin po ng iyong link. Yan. Kapatid na TDB, yan. Baka hindi ka busy, magbaba ka ng link mo para madikit ang kapo ni Kadis Live. Yan. Sige po, kapatid na Kadis Live, no? Magbaba ka po ng iyong link habang hindi pa dumarating ang iyong kliyente. Yan. Habang may oras ka pa, kapatid. Yan, magdikitan po muna kayo dyan, no? Yan. Dikitan niyo po si Kadis Live. Kadis Live, yan. Kadis Live pala, Kadis Live. Sige po, walang problema yung kapatid na TDB. Pupuntahan kita ngayon. Puntahan kita ngayon at ita-thumbs up natin yan ng iyong bagong pelikula. Yan, sige, sige. Puntahan natin. Yan, kapatid na Kadi Life, puntahan natin, i-thumbs up natin ang kanyang bagong pelikula ni kapatid na TDB14 at digitan mo na rin po siya, si TDB14. Yan. Mga kapatid, Vice President Segats at kapatid na Abedensa, puntahan daw natin si TDB14, tamsakan natin ang kanyang bagong pelikula. Yan, ito kapatid na TDB14, kasalukuyang pinapanood ka ng iyong bagong pelikula, no? Francis Leo Marcos, tatay ko si Ferdinand Marcos, yan. Yan, kapatid na TDB14, no? Napamsapan ko na yung iyong bagong pelikula. Yan. Kasalukuyang nakadalawang minuto pa lang ako sa iyong pelikula. Yan. Yan, si kapatid na Paduwas Adventure Tamsakdan, kapatid, BG mode muna ako. Yan, salamat kapatid na Paduwas Adventure sa iyong patamsak dyan. Salamat yan. Sige lang kapatid na Paduwas, no? BG lang muna. Alam ko, busy ka pa dyan. Yan. Nandito lamang ako, pag may time pa, pwede kayong bumalik. Yan.
The Book of Exodus, Chapter 1. These are the names of the sons of Israel who went to Egypt with Jacob, each with his family: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin, Dan and Naphtali, Gad and Asher. The descendants of Jacob numbered 70 in all. Joseph was already in Egypt. Now Joseph and all his brothers and all that generation died, but the Israelites were exceedingly fruitful. They multiplied greatly, increased in numbers, and became so numerous that the land was filled with them. Then a new king, to whom Joseph meant nothing, came to power in Egypt. Look, he said to his people, the Israelites have become far too numerous for us. Come, we must deal shrewdly with them, or they will become even more numerous, and if war breaks out, will join our enemies, fight against us, and leave the country. So they put slave masters over them to oppress them with forced labor, and they built Pithom and Rameses as store cities for Pharaoh. But the more they were oppressed, the more they multiplied and spread. So the Egyptians came to dread the Israelites and worked them ruthlessly. They made their lives bitter with harsh labor and brick and mortar, and with all kinds of work in the fields. In all their harsh labor, the Egyptians worked them ruthlessly. The king of Egypt said to the Hebrew midwives, whose names were Shiphrah and Puah, "When you are helping the Hebrew women during childbirth on the delivery stool, if you see that the baby is a boy, kill him. But if it is a girl, let her live." The midwives, however, feared God and did not do what the king of Egypt had told them to do. They let the boys live. Then the king of Egypt summoned the midwives and asked them, "Why have you done this? Why have you let the boys live?" The midwives answered Pharaoh, "Hebrew women are not like Egyptian women. They are vigorous and give birth before the midwives arrive." So God was kind to the midwives, and the people increased and became even more numerous. And because the midwives feared God, he gave them families of their own. Then Pharaoh gave this order to all his people: "Every Hebrew boy that is born you must throw into the Nile, but let every girl live." Exodus 2. Now a man of the tribe of Levi married a Levite woman, and she became pregnant and gave birth to a son. When she saw that he was a fine child, she hid him for 3 months. But when she could hide him no longer, she got a papyrus basket for him and coated it with tar and pitch. Then she placed the child in it and put it among the reeds along the bank of the Nile. His sister stood at a distance to see what would happen to him. Then Pharaoh's daughter went down to the Nile to bathe, and her attendants were walking along the riverbank. She saw the basket among the reeds and sent her female slave to get it. She opened it and saw the baby. He was crying, and she felt sorry for him. "This is one of the Hebrew babies," she said. Then his sister asked Pharaoh's daughter, "Shall I go and get one of the Hebrew women to nurse the baby for you?" "Yes, go," she answered. So the girl went and got the baby's mother. Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Take this baby and nurse him for me, and I will pay you." So the woman took the baby and nursed him. When the child grew older, she took him to Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. She named him Moses, saying, "I drew him out of the water." One day after Moses had grown up, he went out to where his own people were and watched them at their hard labor. He saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew, one of his own people. Looking this way and that and seeing no one, he killed the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. The next day he went out and saw 2 Hebrews fighting. He asked the one in the wrong, "Why are you hitting your fellow Hebrew?" The man said, "Who made you ruler and judge over us? Are you thinking of killing me as you killed the Egyptian?" Then Moses was afraid and thought, "What I did must have become known." When Pharaoh heard of this, he tried to kill Moses, but Moses fled from Pharaoh and went to live in Midian, where he sat down by a well. Now a priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came to draw water and filled the troughs to water their father's flock. Some shepherds came along and drove them away, but Moses got up and came to their rescue and watered their flock. When the girls returned to Reuel, their father, he asked them, "Why have you returned so early today?" They answered, "An Egyptian rescued us from the shepherds. He even drew water for us and watered the flock." "And where is he?" Reuel asked his daughters. "Why did you leave him? Invite him to have something to eat." Moses agreed to stay with the man, who gave his daughter Zipporah to Moses in marriage. Zipporah gave birth to a son, and Moses named him Gershom, saying, "I have become a foreigner in a foreign land." During that long period, the king of Egypt died. The Israelites groaned in their slavery and cried out, and their cry for help because of their slavery went up to God. God heard their groaning, and he remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. So God looked on the Israelites and was concerned about them. Exodus 3. Now Moses was tending the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian. And he led the flock to the far side of the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. There the angel of the Lord appeared to him in flames of fire from within a bush. Moses saw that though the bush was on fire, it did not burn up. So Moses thought, I will go over and see this strange sight, why the bush does not burn up. When the Lord saw that he had gone over to look, God called to him from within the bush, Moses, Moses. And Moses said, Here I am. Do not come any closer. God said, Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground. Then he said, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. At this, Moses hid his face because he was afraid to look at God. The Lord said, I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I have heard them crying out because of their slave drivers, and I am concerned about their suffering. So I have come down to rescue them from the hand of the Egyptians and to bring them up out of that land into a good and spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey, the home of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. And now the cry of the Israelites has reached me, and I have seen the way the Egyptians are oppressing them. So now go. I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt. But Moses said to God, Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt? And God said, I will be with you, and this will be the sign to you that it is I who have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you will worship God on this mountain. Moses said to God, Suppose I go to the Israelites and say to them, The God of your fathers has sent me to you. And they ask me, What is his name? Then what shall I tell them? God said to Moses, I am who I am. This is what you are to say to the Israelites. I am has sent me to you. God also said to Moses, Say to the Israelites, The Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name forever, the name you shall call me, from generation to generation. Go, assemble the elders of Israel, and say to them, The Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, appeared to me and said, I have watched over you and have seen what has been done to you in Egypt. And I have promised to bring you up out of your misery in Egypt into the land of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites, a land flowing with milk and honey. The elders of Israel will listen to you. Then you and the elders are to go to the king of Egypt and say to him, The Lord, the God of the Hebrews, has met with us. Let us take a 3-day journey into the wilderness to offer sacrifices to the Lord our God. But I know that the king of Egypt will not let you go unless a mighty hand compels him. So I will stretch out my hand and strike the Egyptians with all the wonders that I will perform among them. After that, he will let you go. And I will make the Egyptians favorably disposed toward this people, so that when you leave, you will not go empty-handed. Every woman is to ask her neighbor and any woman living in her house for articles of silver and gold, and for clothing, which you will put on your sons and daughters. And so you will plunder the Egyptians. Exodus 4. Moses answered, What if they do not believe me or listen to me and say, The Lord did not appear to you? Then the Lord said to him, What is that in your hand? A staff, he replied. The Lord said, Throw it on the ground. Moses threw it on the ground, and it became a snake, and he ran from it. Then the Lord said to him, Reach out your hand and take it by the tail. So Moses reached out and took hold of the snake, and it turned back into a staff in his hand. This, said the Lord, is so that they may believe that the Lord, the God of their fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has appeared to you. Then the Lord said, Put your hand inside your cloak. So Moses put his hand into his cloak, and when he took it out, the skin was leprous. It had become as white as snow. Now put it back into your cloak, he said. So Moses put his hand back into his cloak, and when he took it out, it was restored, like the rest of his flesh. Then the Lord said, If they do not believe you or pay attention to the first sign, they may believe the second. But if they do not believe these two signs or listen to you, take some water from the Nile and pour it on the dry ground. The water you take from the river will become blood on the ground. Moses said to the Lord, Pardon your servant, Lord. I have never been eloquent, neither in the past nor since you have spoken to your servant. I am slow of speech and tongue. The Lord said to him, Who gave human beings their mouths? Who makes them deaf or mute? Who gives them sight or makes them blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go, I will help you speak and will teach you what to say. But Moses said, Pardon your servant, Lord, please send someone else. Then the Lord's anger burned against Moses, and he said, What about your brother Aaron the Levite? I know he can speak well. He is already on his way to meet you, and he will be glad to see you. You shall speak to him and put words in his mouth. I will help both of you speak and will teach you what to do. You will speak to the people for you, and it will be as if he were your mouth and as if you were God to him. But take this staff in your hand so you can perform the signs with it. Then Moses went back to Jethro, his father-in-law, and said to him, Let me return to my own people in Egypt to see if any of them are still alive. Jethro said, Go, and I wish you well. Now the Lord had said to Moses in Midian, Go back to Egypt, for all those who wanted to kill you are dead. So Moses took his wife and sons, put them on a donkey, and started back to Egypt. And he took the staff of God in his hand. The Lord said to Moses, When you return to Egypt, see that you perform before Pharaoh all the wonders I have given you the power to do. But I will harden his heart so that he will not let the people go. Then say to Pharaoh, This is what the Lord says. Israel is my firstborn son, and I told you, Let my son go, so he may worship me. But you refused to let him go. So I will kill your firstborn son. At a lodging place on the way, the Lord met Moses and was about to kill him. But Zipporah took a flint knife, cut off her son's foreskin, and touched Moses' feet with it. Surely you are a bridegroom of blood to me, she said. So the Lord let him alone. At that time she said, bridegroom of blood, referring to circumcision. The Lord said to Aaron, Go into the wilderness to meet Moses. So he met Moses at the mountain of God and kissed him. Then Moses told Aaron everything the Lord had sent him to say, and also about all the signs he had commanded him to perform. Moses and Aaron brought together all the elders of the Israelites, and Aaron told them everything the Lord had said to Moses. He also performed the signs before the people. They believed. And when they heard that the Lord was concerned about them and had seen their misery, they bowed down and worshipped. Exodus 5. Afterward, Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh and said, This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. Let my people go so that they may hold a festival to me in the wilderness. Pharaoh said, Who is the Lord that I should obey him and let Israel go? I do not know the Lord, and I will not let Israel go. Then they said, The God of the Hebrews has met with us. Now let us take a 3-day journey into the wilderness to offer sacrifices to the Lord our God, or he may strike us with plagues or with the sword. But the king of Egypt said, Moses and Aaron, why are you taking the people away from their labor? Get back to your work. Then Pharaoh said, Look, the people of the land are now numerous, and you are stopping them from working. That same day, Pharaoh gave this order to the slave drivers and overseers in charge of the people. You are no longer to supply the people with straw for making bricks. Let them go and gather their own straw, but require them to make the same number of bricks as before. Don't reduce the quota. They are lazy. That is why they are crying out, Let us go and sacrifice to our God. Make the work harder for the people so that they keep working and pay no attention to lies. Then the slave drivers and the overseers went out and said to the people, This is what Pharaoh says. I will not give you any more straw. Go and get your own straw wherever you can find it, but your work will not be reduced at all. So the people scattered all over Egypt to gather stubble to use for straw. The slave drivers kept pressing them, saying, "Complete the work required of you for each day, just as when you had straw." And Pharaoh's slave drivers beat the Israelite overseers they had appointed, demanding, "Why haven't you met your quota of bricks yesterday or today as before?" Then the Israelite overseers went and appealed to Pharaoh. "Why have you treated your servants this way? Your servants are given no straw, yet we are told, 'Make bricks.' Your servants are being beaten, but the fault is with your own people." Pharaoh said, "Lazy, that's what you are, lazy. That is why you keep saying, 'Let us go and sacrifice to the Lord.' Now get to work. You will not be given any straw, yet you must produce your full quota of bricks." The Israelite overseers realized they were in trouble when they were told, "You are not to reduce the number of bricks required of you for each day." When they left Pharaoh, they found Moses and Aaron waiting to meet them, and they said, "May the Lord look on you and judge you. You have made us obnoxious to Pharaoh and his officials, and have put a sword in their hand to kill us." Moses returned to the Lord and said, "Why, Lord? Why have you brought trouble on this people? Is this why you sent me? Ever since I went to Pharaoh to speak in your name, he has brought trouble on this people, and you have not rescued your people at all." Exodus 6. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Now you will see what I will do to Pharaoh. Because of my mighty hand he will let them go. Because of my mighty hand he will drive them out of his country." God also said to Moses, "I am the Lord. I appeared to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob as God Almighty, but by my name the Lord I did not make myself known to them. I also established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan, where they resided as foreigners. Moreover, I have heard the groaning of the Israelites, whom the Egyptians are enslaving, and I have remembered my covenant. Therefore say to the Israelites, I am the Lord, and I will bring you out from under the yoke of the Egyptians. I will free you from being slaves to them, and I will redeem you with an outstretched arm and with mighty acts of judgment. I will take you as my own people, and I will be your God. Then you will know that I am the Lord your God, who brought you out from under the yoke of the Egyptians. And I will bring you to the land I swore with uplifted hand to give to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. I will give it to you as a possession. I am the Lord." Moses reported this to the Israelites, but they did not listen to him because of their discouragement and harsh labor. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Go tell Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to let the Israelites go out of his country." But Moses said to the Lord, "If the Israelites will not listen to me, why would Pharaoh listen to me, since I speak with faltering lips?" Now the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron about the Israelites and Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he commanded them to bring the Israelites out of Egypt. These were the heads of their families. The sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel, were Hanok and Palu, Hezron and Carmi. These were the clans of Reuben. The sons of Simeon were Jemuel, Jamin, Ohad, Jakin, Zohar, and Shaul, the son of a Canaanite woman. These were the clans of Simeon. These were the names of the sons of Levi according to their records: Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. Levi lived 137 years. The sons of Gershon by clans were Libni and Shimei. The sons of Kohath were Amram, Izhar, Hebron, and Uziel. Kohath lived 133 years. The sons of Merari were Malai and Mushai. These were the clans of Levi according to their records. Amram married his father's sister Jochebed, who bore him Aaron and Moses. Amram lived 137 years. The sons of Izhar were Korah, Nepheg, and Zikri. The sons of Uziel were Mishael, Elzaphan, and Sithri. Aaron married Elisheba, daughter of Abinadab, and sister of Nashon, and she bore him Nadab and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. The sons of Korah were Asir, Elkanah, and Abiasaph. These were the Korahite clans. Eleazar, son of Aaron, married one of the daughters of Putiel, and she bore him Phinehas. These were the heads of the Levite families, clan by clan. It was this Aaron and Moses to whom the Lord said, "Bring the Israelites out of Egypt by their divisions." They were the ones who spoke to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, about bringing the Israelites out of Egypt, this same Moses and Aaron. Now when the Lord spoke to Moses in Egypt, he said to him, "I am the Lord. Tell Pharaoh, king of Egypt, everything I tell you." But Moses said to the Lord, "Since I speak with faltering lips, why would Pharaoh listen to me?" Exodus 7. Then the Lord said to Moses, "See, I have made you like God to Pharaoh, and your brother Aaron will be your prophet. You are to say everything I command you, and your brother Aaron is to tell Pharaoh to let the Israelites go out of his country. But I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and though I multiply my signs and wonders in Egypt, he will not listen to you. Then I will lay my hand on Egypt, and with mighty acts of judgment I will bring out my divisions, my people, the Israelites. And the Egyptians will know that I am the Lord when I stretch out my hand against Egypt and bring the Israelites out of it." Moses and Aaron did just as the Lord commanded them. Moses was 80 years old, and Aaron 83 when they spoke to Pharaoh. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "When Pharaoh says to you, 'Perform a miracle,' then say to Aaron, 'Take your staff and throw it down before Pharaoh, and it will become a snake.'" So Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh and did just as the Lord commanded. Aaron threw his staff down in front of Pharaoh and his officials, and it became a snake. Pharaoh then summoned wise men and sorcerers, and the Egyptian magicians also did the same things by their secret arts. Each one threw down his staff, and it became a snake. But Aaron's staff swallowed up their staffs. Yet Pharaoh's heart became hard, and he would not listen to them, just as the Lord had said. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Pharaoh's heart is unyielding. He refuses to let the people go. Go to Pharaoh in the morning as he goes out to the river. Confront him on the bank of the Nile, and take in your hand the staff that was changed into a snake. Then say to him, 'The Lord, the God of the Hebrews, has sent me to say to you, let my people go, so that they may worship me in the wilderness. But until now you have not listened. This is what the Lord says. By this you will know that I am the Lord. With the staff that is in my hand I will strike the water of the Nile, and it will be changed into blood. The fish in the Nile will die, and the river will stink. The Egyptians will not be able to drink its water." The Lord said to Moses, "Tell Aaron, take your staff and stretch out your hand over the waters of Egypt, over the streams and canals, over the ponds and all the reservoirs, and they will turn to blood. Blood will be everywhere in Egypt, even in vessels of wood and stone." Moses and Aaron did just as the Lord had commanded. He raised his staff in the presence of Pharaoh and his officials and struck the water of the Nile, and all the water was changed into blood. The fish in the Nile died, and the river smelled so bad that the Egyptians could not drink its water. Blood was everywhere in Egypt. But the Egyptian magicians did the same things by their secret arts, and Pharaoh's heart became hard. He would not listen to Moses and Aaron, just as the Lord had said. Instead he turned and went into his palace, and did not take even this to heart. And all the Egyptians dug along the Nile to get drinking water, because they could not drink the water of the river. 7 days passed after the Lord struck the Nile. Exodus 8. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Go to Pharaoh and say to him, 'This is what the Lord says. Let my people go, so that they may worship me. If you refuse to let them go, I will send a plague of frogs on your whole country. The Nile will teem with frogs. They will come up into your palace and your bedroom and onto your bed, into the houses of your officials and on your people, and into your ovens and kneading troughs. The frogs will come up on you and your people and all your officials." Then the Lord said to Moses, "Tell Aaron, Stretch out your hand with your staff over the streams and canals and ponds, and make frogs come up on the land of Egypt. So Aaron stretched out his hand over the waters of Egypt, and the frogs came up and covered the land. But the magicians did the same things by their secret arts. They also made frogs come up on the land of Egypt. Pharaoh summoned Moses and Aaron and said, "Pray to the Lord to take the frogs away from me and my people, and I will let your people go to offer sacrifices to the Lord." Moses said to Pharaoh, "I leave to you the honor of setting the time for me to pray for you and your officials and your people, that you and your houses may be rid of the frogs, except for those that remain in the Nile." "Tomorrow," Pharaoh said. Moses replied, "It will be as you say, so that you may know there is no one like the Lord our God. The frogs will leave you and your houses, your officials and your people. They will remain only in the Nile." After Moses and Aaron left Pharaoh, Moses cried out to the Lord about the frogs he had brought on Pharaoh. And the Lord did what Moses asked. The frogs died in the houses, in the courtyards, and in the fields. They were piled into heaps, and the land reeked of them. But when Pharaoh saw that there was relief, he hardened his heart and would not listen to Moses and Aaron, just as the Lord had said. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Tell Aaron, stretch out your staff and strike the dust of the ground. And throughout the land of Egypt, the dust will become gnats." They did this. And when Aaron stretched out his hand with the staff and struck the dust of the ground, gnats came on people and animals. All the dust throughout the land of Egypt became gnats. But when the magicians tried to produce gnats by their secret arts, they could not. Since the gnats were on people and animals everywhere, the magician said to Pharaoh, "This is the finger of God." But Pharaoh's heart was hard, and he would not listen, just as the Lord had said. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Get up early in the morning and confront Pharaoh as he goes to the river, and say to him, 'This is what the Lord says, let my people go, so that they may worship me. If you do not let my people go, I will send swarms of flies on you and your officials, on your people, and into your houses. The houses of the Egyptians will be full of flies. Even the ground will be covered with them. But on that day, I will deal differently with the land of Goshen, where my people live. No swarms of flies will be there, so that you will know that I, the Lord, am in this land. I will make a distinction between my people and your people. This sign will occur tomorrow." And the Lord did this. Dense swarms of flies poured into Pharaoh's palace and into the houses of his officials. Throughout Egypt, the land was ruined by the flies. Then Pharaoh summoned Moses and Aaron and said, "Go, sacrifice to your God here in the land." But Moses said, "That would not be right. The sacrifices we offer the Lord our God would be detestable to the Egyptians. And if we offer sacrifices that are detestable in their eyes, will they not stone us? We must take a 3-day journey into the wilderness to offer sacrifices to the Lord our God as he commands us." Pharaoh said, "I will let you go to offer sacrifices to the Lord your God in the wilderness, but you must not go very far. Now, pray for me." Moses answered, "As soon as I leave you, I will pray to the Lord, and tomorrow the flies will leave Pharaoh and his officials and his people. Only let Pharaoh be sure that he does not act deceitfully again by not letting the people go to offer sacrifices to the Lord." Then Moses left Pharaoh and prayed to the Lord, and the Lord did what Moses asked. The flies left Pharaoh and his officials and his people. Not a fly remained. But this time also Pharaoh hardened his heart and would not let the people go. Exodus 9. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Go to Pharaoh and say to him, 'This is what Let my people go, so that they may worship me. If you refuse to let them go and continue to hold them back, the hand of the Lord will bring a terrible plague on your livestock in the field, on your horses, donkeys, and camels, and on your cattle, sheep, and goats. But the Lord will make a distinction between the livestock of Israel and that of Egypt, so that no animal belonging to the Israelites will die. The Lord set a time and said, tomorrow the Lord will do this in the land. And the next day the Lord did it. All the livestock of the Egyptians died, but not one animal belonging to the Israelites died. Pharaoh investigated and found that not even one of the animals of the Israelites had died. Yet his heart was unyielding, and he would not let the people go. Then the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, take handfuls of soot from a furnace and have Moses toss it into the air in the presence of Pharaoh. It will become fine dust over the whole land of Egypt, and festering boils will break out on people and animals throughout the land. So they took soot from a furnace and stood before Pharaoh. Moses tossed it into the air, and festering boils broke out on people and animals. The magicians could not stand before Moses because of the boils that were on them and on all the Egyptians. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he would not listen to Moses and Aaron, just as the Lord had said to Moses. Then the Lord said to Moses, get up early in the morning, confront Pharaoh, and say to him, this is what the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, says. Let my people go, so that they may worship me. or this time I will send the full force of my plagues against you and against your officials and your people, so you may know that there is no one like me in all the earth. For by now I could have stretched out my hand and struck you and your people with a plague that would have wiped you off the earth. But I have raised you up for this very purpose, that I might show you my power and that my name might be proclaimed in all the earth. You still set yourself against my people and will not let them go. Therefore, at this time tomorrow, I will send the worst hailstorm that has ever fallen on Egypt from the day it was founded till now. Give an order now to bring your livestock and everything you have in the field to a place of shelter, because the hail will fall on every person and animal that has not been brought in and is still out in the field, and they will die. Those officials of Pharaoh who feared the word of the Lord hurried to bring their slaves and their livestock inside. But those who ignored the word of the Lord left their slaves and livestock in the field. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand toward the sky so that hail will fall all over Egypt, on people and animals and on everything growing in the fields of Egypt." When Moses stretched out his staff toward the sky, the Lord sent thunder and hail and lightning flashed down to the ground. So the Lord rained hail on the land of Egypt. Hail fell and lightning flashed back and forth. It was the worst storm in all the land of Egypt since it had become a nation. Throughout Egypt, hail struck everything in the fields, both people and animals. It beat down everything growing in the fields and stripped every tree. The only place it did not hail was the land of Goshen, where the Israelites were. Then Pharaoh summoned Moses and Aaron. "This time I have sinned," he said to them. "The Lord is in the right, and I and my people are in the wrong. Pray to the Lord, for we have had enough thunder and hail. I will let you go. You don't have to stay any longer." Moses replied, "When I have gone out of the city, I will spread out my hands in prayer to the Lord. The thunder will stop, and there will be no more hail, so you may know that the earth is the Lord's. But I know that you and your officials still do not fear the Lord God." The flax and barley were destroyed, since the barley had headed and the flax was in bloom. The wheat and spelt, however, were not destroyed because they ripen later. Then Moses left Pharaoh and went out of the city. He spread out his hands toward the Lord. The thunder and hail stopped, and the rain no longer poured down on the land. When Pharaoh saw that the rain and hail and thunder had stopped, he sinned again. He and his officials hardened their hearts. So Pharaoh's heart was hard, and he would not let the Israelites go, just as the Lord had said through Moses. Exodus 10. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Go to Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart and the hearts of his officials, so that I may perform these signs of mine among them, that you may tell your children and grandchildren how I dealt harshly with the Egyptians and how I performed my signs among them, and that you may know that I am the Lord." So Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh and said to him, "This is what the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, says. How long will you refuse to humble yourself before me? Let my people go, so that they may worship me. If you refuse to let them go, I will bring locusts into your country tomorrow. They will cover the face of the ground so that it cannot be seen. They will devour what little you have left after the hail, including every tree that is growing in your fields. They will fill your houses and those of all your officials and all the Egyptians, something neither your parents nor your ancestors have ever seen from the day they settled in this land till now." Then Moses turned and left Pharaoh. Pharaoh's officials said to him, "How long will this man be a snare to us? Let the people go so that they may worship the Lord their God. Do you not yet realize that Egypt is ruined?" Then Moses and Aaron were brought back to Pharaoh. "Go worship the Lord your God," he said. But tell me, who will be going? Moses answered, we will go with our young and our old, with our sons and our daughters, and with our flocks and herds, because we are to celebrate a festival to the Lord. Pharaoh said, the Lord be with you if I let you go, along with your women and children. Clearly you are bent on evil. No, have only the men go and worship the Lord, since that's what you've been asking for. Then Moses and Aaron were driven out of Pharaoh's presence. And the Lord said to Moses, stretch out your hand over Egypt so that locusts swarm over the land and devour everything growing in the fields, everything left by the hail. So Moses stretched out his staff over Egypt, and the Lord made an east wind blow across the land all that day and all that night. By morning the wind had brought the locusts. They invaded all Egypt and settled down in every area of the country in great numbers. Never before had there been such a plague of locusts, nor will there ever be again. They covered all the ground until it was black. They devoured all that was left after the hail, everything growing in the fields and the fruit on the trees. Nothing green remained on tree or plant in all the land of Egypt. Pharaoh quickly summoned Moses and Aaron and said, I have sinned against the Lord your God and against you. Now forgive my sin once more, and pray to the Lord your God to take this deadly plague away from me. Moses left Pharaoh and prayed to the Lord. And the Lord changed the wind to a very strong west wind, which caught up the locusts and carried them into the Red Sea. Not a locust was left anywhere in Egypt. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he would not let the Israelites go. Then the Lord said to Moses, stretch out your hand toward the sky, so that darkness spreads over Egypt, darkness that can be felt. So Moses stretched out his hand toward the sky, and total darkness covered all Egypt for 3 days. No one could see anyone else or move about for 3 days. Yet all the Israelites had light in the places where they lived. Then Pharaoh summoned Moses and said, go, worship the Lord. Even your women and children may go with you. Only leave your flocks and herds behind. But Moses said, you must allow us to have sacrifices and burnt offerings to present to the Lord our God. Our livestock too must go with us. Not a hoof is to be left behind. We have to use some of them in worshiping the Lord our God. And until we get there, we will not know what we are to use to worship the Lord. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he was not willing to let them go. Pharaoh said to Moses, get out of my sight. Make sure you do not appear before me again. The day you see my face, you will die. Just as you say, Moses replied, I will never appear before you again. Exodus 11. Now the Lord had said to Moses, I will bring one more plague on Pharaoh and on Egypt. After that, he will let you go from here, and when he does, he will drive you out completely. Tell the people that men and women alike are to ask their neighbors for articles of silver and gold. The Lord made the Egyptians favorably disposed toward the people, and Moses himself was highly regarded in Egypt by Pharaoh's officials and by the people. So Moses said, this is what the Lord says. About midnight I will go throughout Egypt. Every firstborn son in Egypt will die. From the firstborn son of Pharaoh, who sits on the throne, the firstborn son of the female slave who is at her handmill, and all the firstborn of the cattle as well. There will be loud wailing throughout Egypt, worse than there has ever been or ever will be again. But among the Israelites not a dog will bark at any person or animal. But you will know that the Lord makes a distinction between Egypt and Israel. All these officials of yours will come to me, bowing down before me and saying, go, you and all the people who follow you. After that I will leave. Then Moses, hot with anger, left Pharaoh. The Lord said to Moses, Pharaoh will refuse to listen to you, so that my wonders may be multiplied in Egypt. Moses and Aaron performed all these wonders before Pharaoh. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he would not let the Israelites go out of his country. Exodus 12. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron in Egypt, "This month is to be for you the first month of your year. Tell the whole community of Israel that on the 10th day of this month, each man is to take a lamb for his family, one for each household. If any household is too small for a whole lamb, they must share one with their nearest neighbor, having taken into account the number of people there are. You are to determine the amount of lamb needed in accordance with what each person will eat. The animals you choose must be year-old males without defect, and you may take them from the sheep or the goats. Take care of them until the 14th day of the month, when all the members of the community of Israel must slaughter them at twilight. Then they are to take some of the blood and put it on the sides and tops of the door frames of the houses where they eat the lambs. That same night they are to eat the meat roasted over the fire, along with bitter herbs and bread made without yeast. Do not eat the meat raw or boiled in water, but roasted over a fire, with the head, legs, and internal organs. Do not leave any of it till morning. If some is left till morning, you must burn it. This is how you are to eat it: with your cloak tucked into your belt, your sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hand. Eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover. On that same night I will pass through Egypt and strike down every firstborn of both people and animals. And I will bring judgment on all the gods of Egypt. I am the Lord. The blood will be a sign for you on the houses where you are, and when I see the blood, I will pass over you. No destructive plague will touch you when I strike Egypt. This is a day you are to commemorate. For the generations to come, you shall celebrate it as a festival to the Lord, a lasting ordinance. For 7 days you are to eat bread made without yeast. On the first day, remove the yeast from your houses, for whoever eats anything with yeast in it from the first day through the 7th must be cut off from Israel. On the first day, hold a sacred assembly, and another one on the 7th day. Do no work at all on these days, except to prepare food for everyone to eat. That is all you may do. Celebrate the festival of unleavened bread, because it was on this very day that I brought your divisions out of Egypt. Celebrate this day as a lasting ordinance for the generations to come. In the first month you are to eat bread made without yeast from the evening of the 14th day until the evening of the 21st day. For 7 days no yeast is to be found in your houses, and anyone, whether foreigner or native born, who eats anything with yeast in it must be cut off from the community of Israel. Eat nothing made with yeast. Wherever you live, you must eat unleavened bread. Then Moses summoned all the elders of Israel and said to them, "Go at once and select the animals for your families and slaughter the Passover lamb. Take a bunch of hyssop, dip it into the blood in the basin, and put some of the blood on the top and on both sides of the door frame. None of you shall go out of the door of your house until morning. When the Lord goes through the land to strike down the Egyptians, he will see the blood on the top and sides of the door frame and will pass over that doorway. And he will not permit the destroyer to enter your houses and strike you down. Obey these instructions as a lasting ordinance for you and your descendants. When you enter the land that the Lord will give you as he promised, observe this ceremony. And when your children ask you, 'What does this ceremony mean to you?' then tell them, 'It is the Passover, sacrifice to the Lord, who passed over the houses of the Israelites in Egypt and spared our homes when he struck down the Egyptians.' Then the people bowed down and worshipped. The Israelites did just what the Lord commanded Moses and Aaron. At midnight, the Lord struck down all the firstborn in Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh, who sat on the throne, to the firstborn of the prisoner who was in the dungeon, and the firstborn of all the livestock as well. Pharaoh and all his officials and all the Egyptians got up during the night, and there was loud wailing in Egypt, for there was not a house without someone dead. During the night, Pharaoh summoned Moses and Aaron and said, 'Up, Leave my people, you and the Israelites. Go, worship the Lord as you have requested. Take your flocks and herds as you have said, and go, and also bless me. The Egyptians urged the people to hurry and leave the country, for otherwise they said, we will all die. So the people took their dough before the yeast was added, and carried it on their shoulders in kneading troughs, wrapped in clothing. The Israelites did as Moses instructed, and asked the Egyptians for articles of silver and gold, and for clothing. The Lord had made the Egyptians. They gave them what they asked for, so they plundered the Egyptians. The Israelites journeyed from Rameses to Succoth. There were about 600,000 men on foot, besides women and children. Many other people went up with them, and also large droves of livestock, both flocks and herds. With the dough the Israelites had brought from Egypt, they baked loaves of unleavened bread. The dough was without yeast because they had been driven out of Egypt and did not have time to prepare food for themselves. Now the length of time the Israelite people lived in Egypt was 430 years. At the end of the 430 years, to the very day, all the Lord's divisions left Egypt, because the Lord kept vigil that night to bring them out of Egypt. On this night, all the Israelites are to keep vigil to honor the Lord for the generations to come. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, these are the regulations for the Passover meal. No foreigner may eat it. Any slave you have bought may eat it after you have circumcised him, but a temporary resident or a hired worker may not eat it. It must be eaten inside the house. Take none of the meat outside the house. Do not break any of the bones. The whole community of Israel must celebrate it. A foreigner residing among you who wants to celebrate the Lord's Passover must have all the males in his household circumcised. Then he may take part like one born in the land. No uncircumcised male may eat it. The same law applies both to the native born and to the foreigner residing among you. All the Israelites did just what the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron. And on that very day, the Lord brought the Israelites out of Egypt by their divisions. Exodus 13. The Lord. And to the foreigner residing.
Yan, nandiyan yung mga hakot ng aking Vice President, no? Na si Casey Cruz. Yan, nandito na. Yan. Salamat sa iyong patamsak dyan, kapatid na Casey Cruz. Yan, di ba? Tayo ulit dito. Yan, sabi ng aking Vice President na si Segats Vlog. Yan. Yan, sabi ni Abidenso Casey Cruz, salamat si Sikoy. Yan. Salamat sa iyo. Kaya nga, kaloka. Yan. Yan, si kapatid na Ayang Sis, nandito na ako. Yan. Hello, Madam Casey Cruz. Remember me. Remember me. Yan, sabi ni Black Mantra TV. Yan. Yan, salamat sa inyong pagdalaw, Madam Casey Cruz. At salamat sa inyo. Black Mantra TV, hello Ate I am Sis. Yan. At Segats Vlog, Sisi Love, salamat din sa iyo. Love, sabi ni Abe Denso. Yan. I am Sis, shout out Sisi Love, mua. Sabi ni kapatid na Abe Denso. Yan. Black Mantra TV, shout out sa inyong lahat, sabi ni Casey Cruz. Salamat sa inyo, salamat, no? At nanghila talaga kayo ng tao, no? Yan. Ang aking Vice President, no? Team Hakot. Hindi ko na alam ano team natin. May Team Hakot, Team Player, ano pa? Team Sindikato. Meron pa ba tayong Team Sindikato dyan? Dugi lang host, luto muna ako yan, sabi ni Casey Cruz. Salamat Madam at Casey Cruz, sabi ni Black Mantra TV. Salamat sa inyo. Salamat lahat sa inyo. Salamat sa inyo. Yan, sabi ni kapatid na Casey Cruz, no? Segats Vlog, gawa ka ng group Team Hakot, Sisi Love, Sisi Koy. Yan, sabi ni kapatid na Segats Vlog, Sisi Koy at Casey, magluto ka na. Yan, magluto ka na raw po, sabi ng aking Vice President na si Segats Vlog. Yan, salamat sa inyo. Salamat kapatid na Segats Vlog sa iyong pahakot. Yan, mukhang isang truck ang iyong hahakotin. Black Mantra TV, walang anuman, salamat din sa inyo. Sabi ni Casey Cruz. Yan. Kraus ba? Kraus, no? Kraus. Kraus pala. Kurso ako ng Cruz. Kraus pala. Casey Kraus.
Just one more day, another day, and let me feel it that I've been losing you. The sun will rise within your eyes. Come back to me and we will be happy together.
Yan, Team Hakot talaga, sabi ni Abe Denso. Oh. Team Hakot, Team, ano ka ba yung isa? Team Player. No? Dapat gumawa na tayo ng community, no? Team Hakot, community.
Maybe today I'll make you stay a little while just for a smile and love together. For I will show a place I know.
Yan, sabi ni kapatid na Abe Denso, natawa ako sa palaro na pa-oo si Sisi Koy at Casey Kraus, no? Yan. Napa-oo raw siya. Ano bang palaro yun?
We are not moving on. Come and relieve my pain. And we will be lovers again.
Yan, sabi niya, Casey Kraus, no? Abidensya, oo nga, naguluhan ako sa inyo. Yan, basta ako tagahakot lang, sabi ni Segats Vlog, ang aking Vice President. Okay lang yan, kapatid na Segats Vlog, no? Hindi naman tayo pwede basta lumabas dito sa aking LS, no? Pag may palaro. Sa mga susunod na araw, yan pwede. Yung ninja ko ang dadaling ko, no? Ninja ko ang pag-e-LSN ko, para yung main ko ang naglalaro sa mga palaro.
In your eyes, everything is affection in your
Hindi ko pa napapalaro yung in-sponsor mo, Vice President, no? Hindi ko pa napapalaro. Kasi wala naman tao pa rito sa aking live streaming, no? Hindi ko pa napapalaro. Pero huwag ka mag-alala, mapapalaro natin yan. Pati si Peter and Virtue nagbigay rin ng 5 tagdadalawang watch hour, no? Yan. So, tag-5 kayo ni Peter and Virtue. Kapatid na Segats, no? Si Jambi Bidin, hindi mahila kasi nasa taas kay George Sumait. Padala ka mga sundalo host. Oo, yan. Magpapadala tayo ng sundalo doon. Nandito lang kami at kay George Sisilab at Rameses. Yan. Sa susunod, no, yung sundalo ko ang mag-live streaming dito at yung hari ang maglalaro sa mga palaro. Yan. Okay. Sabihan mo lang ako, sabi ni Segats Vlog. Oo, sige. Sasabihan na lang kita pag okay na. Yan. Mangisda ako para may bago akong maampon. Yan. Para may bago kayong matropa. Yan. Salamat yan, kapatid na Rameses. Sige lang, kapatid na Segats Vlog, no? At magpahinga ka na rin, maghapon ka na rin, nakatutok sa iyong cellphone at computer, no? Magpahinga ka na. At kita-kita na lang tayo mamaya ulit kay Tito Jomor. Yan. Good night na sa'yo, kapatid na Segats Vlog. Tama yan, si Silab at Rameses. Si Segats Vlog, ang Pangulo ng tagahakot. Yan. Si Segats Vlog, ang Pangulo. Yan. Siyang tagahakot, no? Dahil marami siyang kakilalang hahakutin talaga. Yan.
We've been talking all night long. Nothing left to say. Emotion. Nothing standing in the way. I've got a feeling this was meant to be.
Yan, good night na sa'yo, kapatid na Segats Vlog. Salamat sa pabidyo dyan sa dalawang alagad mo, no? Yung main mo at isang alagad, salamat sa pabidyo. Yan, good night and sweet dreams na kapatid na Segats Vlog. Yan, sabi ni Rameses at Abidenso, nag-isda ako sa ibang LS, haha. Grabe talaga yan si Segats Vlog. Kung saan nakakarating yan host. Oo nga kapatid na Casey Cross, no? Kung saan nakakarating talaga yan si kapatid na Segats Vlog, no? Kaya nakita naman natin, ang bilis niya, di ba? Bilis lumago ng kanyang bahay. Yan, tapos sabi ni kapatid na Rameses, tapos meron akong finilapan. Yan, meron daw siyang finilapan. Ano kaya yon? Red Velvet Adventure, tamsak na, sabi ng kapatid na Red Velvet Adventure. Salamat sa iyong patamsak dyan. Casey Cross at Sisi Koy, nakaluto ka na. Malamang hindi pa siya nakakaluto, kapatid na Jenky Max, kasi nagtatay pa rin siya. Yan, kapatid na Casey Cruz, no, magluto ka na. Sabi ni kapatid na Abidenso, nahiya si Yan doon kay George. Medyo busy sila kaya hindi napansin si Yan. Yan. Sabihan nyo na lang si Yan na dito na lang siya pumunta para mapansin. Yan. Love, 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 sabi ni Red Velvet Adventure. Casey Cross, Chinky Max, here pa si Sikoy, nagluto pa lang. Yon. Yan, nagluluto pa lang. Anong oras na po sa inyo, Casey Cross? No? Nasaan ka po ba? Nasa Hong Kong ka rin po ba? Singapore? Malaysia? Thailand? Middle East, nasaan ka ba? Pilipinas? Yan, hulaan natin. Lugar ba yan? Yan, sabi ni kapatid na I am si Sisi Love at Red Velvet Adventure. Manood ka ng aking bagong video at mag-comment pa sa parapol sa Friday. Yan. Sabi ni kapatid na Abedan, focus ka sa pagluluto si Koy. Baka mapagod imong geluto, no? Imong geluto. Yan. Ako din ang isda sa malaking LS, 160 viewers, may roleta din. Yon. Saan yan, kapatid na Black Mantra? Yan. I am sure. Kapatid na I am sure, sabi ni Red Velvet, no? Sabi ni Abel so ate. Yan. Hakutin niya pa yung mga hakot dyan, no? Yan. Medyo naghahati-hati ang mga tao natin ngayon dahil mayroon pa si George doon. Yan. Hakutin yan, dapat mahakot nang magkaroon tayo ng tao at makarami rin tayo ng may isda rito. Yan.
I'm never trying to put my life to where it should belong. And I've always let the night run. Realizing that this could be wrong. But now I find you. I had to let it go to make a way for the brighter tomorrow.
So I am leaving yesterday behind. Finally I confess. Yan, sabi ni Abidenso at Red Velvet Adventure, shoutout kapatid. No, yan, nakabidyo lang si Black Mantra. Abidenso, shoutout din sa'yo, Sisi. Sabi ni Red Velvet Adventure. I am Ses at Black Mantra TV, kapatid. Yan, kapatid na Black Mantra, saan ka ba naglalaro? Baka pwede mo kaming hilahin dyan at kami iyong isama.
My yesterday, I was trying not to let it interfere. Choices I would make along the way. 'Cause I'm not living in a world of fantasy. I'm here now in the world of reality.
Yan, nandiyan ang ating kapatid na si Raymart Vlog, no? Hello, sabi ni kapatid na Raymart Vlog. Kamusta ka na kapatid na Raymart? Yan. Kamusta ang iyong araw, no? Black Mantra TV, hello Ate Sis. Ate Ayam Sis, no? Yan.
'Cause I was trying to live my life once more the way I did before. I'm leaving yesterday behind and finally I've made up my mind to let the memories stay away and think about today. I'm leaving yesterday.
Yan, sabi ni kapatid ni Raymart Vlog, Sisi Guapa, hello. Yan. Sisi Guapa, sino ba yung Sisi Guapa na tinatawag mo? Si Abedenso ba yan? Si Casey Krause ba yan? Si Jinky Max ba yan? Si kapatid na Ayam Ses ba yan? Sino ba yung guwapa na tinatawag mo? Kapatid na Raymart. Yan. Yan, mga naka-BG lang. Si kapatid na Abedenso. Casey Krause. Yan. Sabi ni kapatid na Ayam Ses, hello sa inyo. Tamsak na. Yan. Huwag kalimutang magtamsak. Sabi ni kapatid na Ayam Ses. Yan, no? Sa as of June 17, no? Bukas, no? June 17 bukas. Magkakaroon po ng ang inyong temperatura diyan sa Pilipinas, no? 35 degrees sa umaga at 27 degrees sa gabi. Yan. Medyo mainit na sa umaga, no? 35 degrees Celsius, medyo mainit-init, no? At sa gabi naman 27 degrees Celsius ang temperatura sa gabi, medyo malamig-lamig sa gabi, maalinsangan sa umaga at sa gabi, no? Yan. So mag-ingat po kahit magdala kayo ng payong, no? Pag kayo lalabas sa umaga, para po hindi kayo ma-heat stroke, no? At may panlaban sa init. O baka sakaling umulan bigla, meron kayong dalang payong. Yan. So mag-ingat-ingat po kayo. Yan po ang ating weather forecast para bukas, handog sa inyo ng Ajinomoto. Sabi ni Raymart Vlogs, Ayam Ses, yan, si Sisi Guapa, yan. Si Ayam Ses pala si Sisi Guapa, wala naman talagang pagdududa dyan, no? Yan. George Sumait, kapatid na George, tapos ka na ba sa iyong live streaming? Huwag mo gamitin ang iyong main account, mababawasan ka niyan, kapatid na George. Kurt Riggs, Dodong Raymart, congratulations, naka 1K ka na, diay. At Richida Network. Yan, sabi ni Tita Richida, no, binabati ka kapatid na Raymart. Congratulations din dahil naka-graduate ka na sa iyong saging. Yan. George Sumayo, shout out at I am Sis Tita Richida Network. Yan. At Raymart Vlog, George Sumait, hello, akyat na kayo. Sabi ni kapatid na I am Sis. Oo, Tita Richida, Kaloy, Tawon. Salamat, ha? Yan, nagkabisayaan na. Hindi ko na mabanggit ang kanilang mga sinasabi. Yan, si kapatid na Red Velvet, nagpadala ng 3 dilaw na puso. Mukhang may sakit na hepa yun, 3 dilaw na puso, no? Mukhang may sakit. Yan, konting kaalaman lang, no? Yan, konting kaalaman tungkol sa zebra. Yan. Alam niyo ba ang zebra ay iilan sa species ng African equid o pamilya ng kabayo na nagbubuklod ayon sa kanilang natatanging balahibo na may itim at puting guhit. Ang kanilang mga guhit ay may iba't ibang estilo. Yan. Na natatangi sa bawat individual. Tama po yun, no? Yan. Ang guhit ng mga zebra ay hindi pare-pareho. Sa pangkalahatan, sila ay palakaibigang mga hayop na nabubuhay sa maliliit na pangkat ng nakakaraming babae at isang dominanteng lalaki. Hanggat sa malalaking pangkat, di tulad ng kanilang pinakamalalapit na kamag-anak gaya ng mga kabayo at donkey, ang mga zebra ay hindi tuluyang napaamo. Yan ang konting kaalaman tungkol sa zebra. Hatid sa inyo ng Tang Orange Juice. Yan, sabi ni kapatid na George Sumait, shout out at Raymart, salamat sa iyo. Black Mantra, hello sa iyo, sabi ni Raymart Vlog. Yan, nakabidyo pa rin si Casey Krause, no? Yan. Salamat sa iyo kapatid na Casey Krause sa iyong pabidyo-bidyo. Yan, sarap among iyong pagluluto. Ayan, lahat kayo ay magkakadikit na. Bibigyan ko sana kayo ng jacket, pero lahat kayo magkakadikit na. Yan. Sabi ni Ninja, ni Dea Sulaiman Vlog, thumbs up po at Henyo Rogue. Naku po, nandiyan na po ang apo ni Raha Sulaiman, na si Dea Sulaiman Vlog. No? Tinatawag niya pa akong Henyo. Bakit kaya ako tinawag na Henyo na ito? Video lang po, stay home, stay home, stay home. Yan. Naka-video, mukhang busy pa si kapatid na Dea Sulaiman. Yan, magdikitan kayo, no? Bibigyan ko kayo ng jacket diyan, magdikitan kayo. Yan, sabi ni Tita Cartridge, no? Salamat sa konting kaalaman. Yan, salamat po. Present kapatid, sabi ni Peter and Virtue. Salamat, shoutout sa lahat ng mga kapatid, sabi ni Peter and Virtue. Yan, salamat sa lahat ng apo ni Lolo na dumaan at pumunta dito sa aking munting kubo. Yan. Sana pumasok pa ulit at pumunta ulit yung mga kahapon nating bisita, no? Para makasama natin ulit sila. Yan, sabi ni Ninja, ni Dea Sulaiman Vlogs, ha, sabog na ang mata ko, Henyo Rogue. Yan. Sige po kapatid na Dea Sulaiman, ang apo ni Raha Sulaiman, no? Magpahinga po muna ang inyong mata. Mahirap na pag lumabo yan. Di na kayo makakakita. Yan. Shout out at Cartridge, sabi ni George Sumait. Yan. Peter and Virtue, George Sumait, shout out sa iyo. Yan, sabi ni Raymart Vlogs. Peter and Virtue, hello. Sabi ni Raymart Vlogs. Iwanan ko lang to kuya ang tukpa at di makabawi sa night duty. Sige lang kapatid na Jinky Max, no? Magpahinga ka na, matulog ka ng mahimbing. Magdasal bago matulog. Magpasalamat lagi sa biyayang natatanggap galing sa ating Panginoon. Shoutout sa iyo kapatid na Peter and Virtue, sabi ni Raymart Vlog. Shoutout at Jinky Max, sabi ni George Sumait. Kapatid na George, tapos na ba yung LS mo? Bakit ginagamit mo yung main account mo? Tapos na. Okay na. Tapos na pala. Ayun. Dahil tapos na ang kanyang live streaming, no? Pwede nga nang gamitin. Yan. Yan, naka-video lang si Dea Sulaiman, ang apo ni Raha Sulaiman. Yan. Ka-video lang siya. Yan, salamat sa inyong lahat, no? Salamat sa inyong lahat sa 11 nakasubaybay dito sa ating munting kubo. Yan, salamat sa inyo. At sa 25 thumbs up na binigay nyo kay host, salamat sa inyong lahat, no? Salamat sa inyo. Salamat sa inyo. Hello po, Quiz at Rog Alcorisa. Uy, salamat sa pagdaang ka rito ulit. Restless Pinay, napasaang ka ulit. Salamat. I'm alive, sabi niya. Dahil ikaw ay buhay pa at alive, no? Yan. Tayo ay makinig muna ng love song. Yan. Raymart Vlogs, mega shoutout sa iyo. Sabi ni kapatid na Peter and Virtue, kapatid brother. Parehas tayo na INC, no? Ang anak ng tupa, no? Yan, mga anak ng tupa. INC, no? Mga tupa. Hello po, Quiz. Rog Alcorisa, sabi ni Restless Pinay. I'm alive. Jinky Max, hello kapatid. Yan. Good morning po dyan sa Canada, sa Toronto. Good morning po sa inyo. Tita Richida, kapatid na Peter and Virtue, good morning po sa inyo. Kayo po ba ay mga nag-breakfast na? Uy, tanghalian na pala dyan. 12:00 na pala ng tanghali dyan. Kayo ba ay nananghalian na o ngayon palang nagluluto ng mga tanghalian nyo dyan sa Canada, dyan sa Toronto? Kanina napadaan dito si Caddy Life. No? Si Caddy Life, no? Napadaan dito kanina, ang kapatid natin dyan sa Toronto. Wala raw silang nahuling isda kahapon kasi maalot, malakas ang hangin. Sabi ni Restless Pinay, hello po, Madam George Sumait. Yan. Restless Pinay at Card Rage. Hello po. Mag-silent LS ako mga kapatid. Kahit thumbs up lang. And watch for at least 5 minutes. Okay na yan sa akin. Thank you. Yan. Jinky Max, shout out. Ninja ni Dea Sulaiman Vlog. Anong oras at Card Rigs? Restless Pinay. Anong oras? No? 3:00 ng madaling araw po yung kapatid na Restless Pinay sa Pilipinas, no? 3 a.m. po yon sa Pilipinas. No? Jinky Max, iniwan niyo ako kanina tapos kay John Sumait nakabuji ako. Natapos na pala siya. Hehe, sabi ni Peter and Virtue. Wala, hindi nyo sinasabihan si Peter and Virtue, iniiwan nyo lang. Huwag kayong ganyan. At Casey Cruz, hello po ate, sabi ni Restless Pinay. Ninja ni Dea Sulaiman Vlogs, mega shoutout, sabi ni Peter and Virtue. Raymart Vlogs, hi, sabi ni Restless Pinay. Mga 12 midnight dyan, sabi ni Cart Riggs, ni Tita Richida. Yan, salamat. Cart Riggs, sige po, at punta na ako ngayon. Yan. Pupunta na raw ngayon si Peter and Virtue. Naku, matutulog na po ako. Yan. Sige po, titignan natin si Cart Riggs, no? Mukhang mag-live streaming siya ngayon. Titignan natin si Cart Riggs. Papaiyak na lang siya, no? Si kapatid na Restless Pinay. Hindi pala si Cart Riggs ang magla-live streaming. Si Tita Richida pala. Live in 5 days pa pala to. Hindi pala to ngayon. Kailan kaya ako makakapunta kay Ate Richida? Same din kayo ng time. Yan. Same din kayo ng time. Anong oras na ba dyan sa'yo, kapatid na Restless Pinay? Yan. Yan, si kapatid na Dea Sulaiman, naka-BG pa rin. Yan, salamat sa 12 nakatutok dyan. No? Salamat dyan sa 12 na yan. Sa 26 na, thumbs up nyo dyan. 4 na lang, kukutan na. Yan. So dahil dyan, tayo'y magpatugtog muna ng ating pampatulog. No? Baka merong gustong umakyat dyan, magtaas lang ng kamay yung mga gustong umakyat para may kakwentuhan naman tayo rito sa taas, no? SpongeBob and Patrick, thumbs up dan. Mukhang si ano na naman to, si SpongeBob and Patrick. Mukhang si kapatid na naman to na Peter and Virtue. Yan. Restless Pinay, 12:02 AM na po dito. Nasa Pilipinas ka pala. Yan. Restless Pinay, madaling araw na po. Yan. So yun, dito pa lang, is gabi pa lang dito, 7:04 pa lang dito ng gabi, dito sa Kuwait, no?
You look at me and I can see the feeling's gone. What happened to the dream you turned on your own? You turn away and try to say what you need on me. But baby, I can't let you go. Let you go away. I don't wanna love. I don't wanna be the one who's only hearted. Don't take the only love ever known.
Yun, hindi pala si kapatid na Peter and Virtue yun, si SpongeBob and Patrick. Sino kaya yung si SpongeBob and Patrick na yan? Sabi ni kapatid na Peter and Virtue, iba siya kapatid. Yan. Opo, Pilipinas po ako, sabi ni kapatid na Restless Pinay. Yan. Yan, kung inaantok ka na kapatid na Restless Pinay, ikaw ay magpahinga na, no? Magpahinga ka na po kapatid na Restless Pinay at magkita-kita na lang tayo ulit bukas, no? Kung makakapunta ka sa live streaming ni Tito Jomer. Yan. Magkita-kita tayo bukas doon alas 6 ng umaga at sa LS mo. Madadalaw kita ulit doon. Ah. Yan, sabi ni SpongeBob and Patrick, shout out sa lahat ng team Apo ni Lolo. Yan. Video na lang kita hanggang maenti po. Yan. Salamat Restless Pinay, kapatid, no? Sa pabigi mo. Work po ako ng 8 to 5. Okay po, may trabaho ka ng 8 to 5. Yan. So, yun, pahinga ka na kapatid na Restless Pinay. At para magising ka ng maaga bukas at makapag-prepare ka ng maaga sa iyong trabaho. Yan. Laging magdadasal bago matulog, no? At laging mag-iingat papunta at pauwi galing sa trabaho. Yan. Restless Pinay, hello, sabi ni George Sumaye. Yan, sabi ni kapatid na Restless Pinay, parang di ako mag-ELS para di po kayo mahati ang mga ninjas po ng iba para po kay Ate Jinky Max, no? Good night, kuya. Yan, sabi ni kapatid na Restless Pinay, no? Yan. Sige po, good night din sa iyo and sweet dreams. God bless you po, kapatid na Restless Pinay. Magpahinga ka ng maayos. Bago matulog, magdasal po muna at humingi ng pasasalamat sa Panginoon sa mga natatanggap nating biyaya sa araw-araw. Salamat, salamat sa buhay mo, kapatid na Restless Pinay. Yan, supportahan natin si Tita Richida. Naka-live po si Tita Richida ngayon. Supportahan po natin. Puntahan natin siya sa kanyang live streaming, no? Naka-BG po, naka-silent po si Tita Richida, no? Yan. Puntahan po natin ang kanyang silent LS ni Tita Richida, no? Supportahan po natin, mga kapatid. No? Yan, sabi ni Card Riggs, no, dito pa rin ako, Rogue. Yan, andoon din ako, tita, sa inyo. Palitan tayo ng ninja. Yan, sabi niya, Restless Pinay, no, finally ate, nakapunta na rin ako sa LS, no, yan. Sige po, supportahan natin si Tita Richida, no, yan. Nandoon din si YBD Channel, no, sabi, nandoon din siya, si YBD Channel. Yan, sabi ni Tita Richida, sabi ni Cartridge, thank you, Rogue. Yan, sabi ni Restless Pinay, yippee! Yippee, yippee! Yan, sabi ni Restless Pinay. Yan, sabi ni Cartridge, maraming salamat, Restless Pinay. Yan, si Black Mantra, naka-BG pa rin si Black Mantra. Yan, salamat sa iyong pag-BG, kapatid na Black Mantra. At sa iyo, kapatid na Restless Pinay, sa iyong pa-BG dyan. Salamat.
DJ Cam, Idol.
Achot Boulevard.
DJ Cam, Idol.
Yan, sabi ni Peter and Virtue, Cartridge, nandoon na po yung 4 ko po. Yan. Ang daming pinasok na Peter and Virtue doon kay Cartridge, no? Mahangin sa amin, meron bang mga kaalaman pa dyan? Yan. Sabi ni Cartridge, no? Tignan natin kung meron pang kaalaman. Ano bang gusto niyong malaman? Yan, sabi ni Casey Cross, BG lang, no? Peter and Virtue, thank you, sabi ni Cartridge.
Idol.
Yan, sabi ni Restless Pinay, hi Ate Cartridge, nakaabot na rin, yan, nakapunta na raw si Restless Pinay, Tita Richida, final na, matutulog na. Yan, sige kapatid na Restless Pinay, magpahinga ka na, matulog ka ng mahimbing, magdasal bago matulog, no? Magpasalamat lagi sa Panginoon sa mga biyayang natatanggap sa araw-araw. Huwag kakalimutan niya at laging mag-iingat, no? Pag ikaw ay lalabas ng bahay, laging mag-iingat, laging may dalang proteksyon. laban sa mga sakit. Yan. Salamat sa iyo kapatid na Restless Pinay.
JKM, Idol. Francis.
Yan, konting kaalaman tayo ulit, no? Yan. Konting kaalaman tungkol sa mga bituin. Yan, tungkol sa mga bituin tayo. Yan. Ang isang bituin o Alpha Andromeda, no? Alpha Andromeda, ang isang bituin. Bituin, tala, estrella o lucero, no? Yan. Tala o lucero, bituin, ay isang katawan ng iba't ibang plasma sa dakong labas ng kalawakan na binibigkis ng sarili niyang balani. Yan. At may sapat na bigat upang masustentuhan ang kanyang pagsasalikop nuklear sa kanyang siksik na ubod. So malalim ang kanyang salita, no? Maganda talaga ang bituin. Napakaningning dahil may mga nuklear na kanyang natatago sa kanyang katawan, no, ng bituin. Ang pagsasanib ng mga nukleyong atomiko ay nagbubunga ng enerhiya na tuloy-tuloy na lumalabas sa buong buhay nito. Kaya pala napakaliwanag, no, ng bituin. That merong nukleyong atomika, no? May nuclear atomic, no, na nagbubunga ng enerhiya, ng energy na continuous na lumalabas sa bituin. Kaya pala napakaliwanag. Ang ating araw ay halimbawa ng isang bituin sa kalawakan araw natin, no? Lumilibot ang mga tala o planeta kasama ang ating lupa. Ang pinakamalapit na bituin ng ating kalawakan ay ang araw. Yan ang kunting kaalaman, no, tungkol sa ating mga bituin. Isang napakalaking bituin ay ang araw. At ang ikalawang bituin na pinakamalapit sa lupa ay ang Proxima Centauri. Yan, Proxima Centauri. Ang pangalawang pinakamalapit na bituin, no, sa lupa ay ang Proxima Centauri. Ito ay may layong 40 trilyong kilometro. Ito ay may 42 liwanag na taon o light years, no? Kung saan ang liwanag mula sa bituang ito ay darating sa lupa pagkaraan ng 4.2 na taon, no? 42 taon. Ganon. Bago makarating ang liwanag sa lupa, no, sa planeta. Yan ang ating munting kaalaman tungkol sa ating bituin. Yan ang ating kaalaman, at ang ating munting kaalaman ay handog sa inyo ng Dato Puti Soy Sauce. Yan. Yan, sabi ni Tita Cartridge. At George Sumait, sorry, nalate ako sa LS mo kanina. Yan. Nalate na si Tita Richida kanina sa yung LS, no? Yan, weather forecast naman tayo ngayon. Weather forecast tayo ngayon, no? Yan, para bukas po, no? June 17. Sabi po ng ating Weather Philippines Graphical Satellite Analysis, no? Yan. As of June para po bukas, no, June 17. There are no developing tropical disturbances, no, low pressure areas across the Western Pacific Ocean and the Philippine Sea at this time. Yan, wala na pong namumuong bagyo sa labas ng ating bansa sa Pilipinas, no? Intertropical Convergence Zone o ITCZ, no? Bringing mostly cloudy to cloudless skies with scattered rain, shower and thunderstorm across Kalayaan Island Group, no? Palawan, Visayas and Mindanao. Yan. Magkakaroon daw tayo ng maulap-ulap na panahon at kalat-kalat na pag-ulan, no? Yan. At may kasama pang thunderstorm. Diyan sa may Kalayaan Island, Palawan at sa Visayas, Mindanao. Yan. Kaya kung sino ang po nandiyan sa malapit diyan sa Kalayaan Island, Visayas, Mindanao at sa Palawan, no? Magdala po kayo ng payong, kapote o anuman pong pananggalang sa ulan. Kung hindi naman po umulan, meron kayong dalang panlaban sa init. Yan. Yan po ang ating weather forecast, no? Para bukas, June 17. Yan. Meanwhile, the rest of the country will partly cloudy to cloudy sky with changes or chances of isolated to scattered rain, shower, and thunderstorm in some areas, especially in the afternoon or evening. Yan. Yan. Magkakaroon daw ng panakanakang ulan sa hapon o sa gabi. Yan. Kaya mag-iingat-ingat pa rin tayo. Huwag tayo magpabasa sa ulan, baka tayo magkasakit. Yan. Ang ating weather forecast is brought to you by Coffee Mate. No? Masarap, panghalo sa kape. Yan, salamat po sa 27 thumbs up na binigay niyo po sa akin. Tatlo na lang sana, tatlo na lang para magsaradong 30 na. Salamat yan. At sa siyam na matang nakatutok pa rin, no? Salamat sa siyam na matang nakatutok. Salamat po sa inyong lahat. Salamat po sa suporta po. Galing sa apo ni Lolo. Yan. Salamat po sa inyong lahat. Yun, okay lang po, sabi ni George. Okay lang daw, tita. Nakikinig ka, kapatid na George? Nandiyan ka ba, kapatid na George? Yan. Pwede mo siyang burahin, no? Punta ka ng YT, sa studio monetization, sa YouTube monetization, no? Yan. Yan, salamat pa rin dyan sa 12 matang nakasubaybay sa akin dito, no? Salamat pa rin sa inyo. Yan. Baka pwede niyo pandagdagan tong aking thumbs up kung meron pang nakikinig dyan. Baka pwede niyo pandagdagan, gawin niyo ng 30, tatlo lang para 30 na. Yan, kapatid na George, nandiyan ka ba, kapatid na George?
are dancing to the beat. One exclusive mix by DJ Boom Boom.
5, 6, 7, go.
DJ Boom
Yan, salamat sa 10 matang nakatutok pa rin diyan, no? Yan. Salamat sa inyo mga kapatid sa inyong pagtutok sa aking live streaming. Yan. Salamat dyan sa 27 thumbs up na binigay nyo sa akin. Salamat po sa inyong lahat. No? Tayo po ay magpapaalam na rin. No? Hindi na po tayo magtatagal sa ating live streaming. Magkita-kita lang po tayo bukas. Alas 10 ng gabi dyan sa Pilipinas ulit. Tayo po ay magparami, magpaangat ng ating mga organic friend. Yan. Maraming salamat po sa inyo, sa inyong pagdalaw sa akin, no? Nawais pagpalain po kayo ng Panginoon sa araw-araw sa inyong buhay. Ako po si Rogal Corisa, nagpapaalam na po. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. At magandang umaga dyan sa Pilipinas. Magandang hating gabi. Yan. God bless po sa inyong lahat. Magkita-kita po ulit tayo mamaya kay Tito Jomer Channel. Alas 6 ng umaga. Yan, salamat po. Sige po, salamat po. At supportahan pa natin si Tita Richida. Naka-live streaming po siya ngayon. Naka-silent LS po pala. Yung 11 mata na yan, ilipat natin kay Tita Richida. Maraming salamat po.